In this exercise, we're going to assemble the components for our F1 in Schools car. So first of all, I'm going to start off by creating a brand new assembly file. And again, I'm just going to click on the new icon from the Create New File dialog box from the Metric tab. I'm going to just simply double click on standardmillimeter.iam. Now the first thing that I want to do inside of this assembly file is place a component. So again, a couple different ways to do this here from the component panel if I wanted to. I could come back and click on Place. Or what I'm going to do is right-click from the marquee menu, click Place Component. So in the Place Component dialog box, if you're not seeing an image, and if you would like to, you can go back here under the View menu, and then you can change it. As you can see here, I have mine set to large icons. So I'm going to scroll on down, and the file that I'm looking for here is called F1 Car Body Completed. So to select that file, I'm just going to double-click on that file, and Inventor is going to place in one occurrence of that. Now I only want to place in a single occurrence, so I'm just going to press the Escape key to cancel out of that command. So what I want to do next is I want to place in some additional components. So to repeat that command, I'm just going to press Enter on the keyboard. And now I want to place in 3 components in one operation. So I'm going to select the axle, I'm going to hold down the Control key, and I'm also going to select on the retaining ring and the wheel.ipt. So with the Control key down, you can see I have all 3 of those files selected. Go ahead and click on Open. And I'm going to position an occurrence of each of those to the left and to the right of the car body. And again, right-click, either cancel or OK. We'll complete that command. So next what I need to do is drop in 2 more occurrences of the wheel. So instead of going back out to the Place Component command, I'm going to simply click and drag on one of the wheels from the browser and drag it back in. Now it doesn't matter which wheel I drop in because they're all pointing back to the exact same occurrence. So now I have my 4 wheels, the axle, and I have 2 of the retaining rings. Now if I click and drag on the car body, you'll see that I get the stick pin icon telling me that it is grounded. If you're working with Inventor 2014, the first component will not be grounded. So to ground that component, simply move your cursor over that car body. You would just do a right mouse click, and then from the menu, you would just click on Grounded. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to change my perspective. And again, a couple different ways to do this again. You could hold down the F4, you could go back and you could use the Free Orbit command, or you can just select on the View Cube vertices. And that's what I'm going to do here to change my perspective to look like this. Now what I'd like to do is I'm going to start to constrain some of these components here. So first of all, what you can do is you can move these components close together, zoom up on that. But now looking at this, of course, the wheel is black and it's really hard to see that. So what I want to do is I want to change the lighting style real quick. So I'm going to go back under the View tab, under the Appearance panel. I'm going to go under the 2 lights, click on Settings, and then under the Styles and Standards editor here, I'm just going to come back here and I'm just going to change where that light source is so I can see a little bit better. And I'm just going to also make it a little bit brighter so it'll be easier to see here inside of this video. So we'll go ahead and we'll save those changes. So now it's a lot easier to see the wheel here. So next what I want to do is start applying some assembly constraints. So an easy way to do that, simply right-click from the marquee menu, click on Constraint. And again, I'm going to get a little bit closer here, a little bit easier to see. And I'm going to place in a mate constraint. So the first one that we're going to do is we're going to take 2 planar faces. So I want to get the planar face on the extension, and then the planar face on that wheel. So as you can see, those 2 faces are now mated together here. Go ahead and click on Apply. And I'm going to just cancel that for a second here. I'm going to change my perspective. Now, with that wheel, I can click and drag, and you can see I can move that wheel back and forth or up and down, but it is going to stick inside of that plane. So again, I'm just going to alter the viewpoint here just a little bit more. And again, I'm going to start up the Constraint command. So right-click Constraint. And with that same mate option, I'm going to move my cursor and I'm going to select the axes for both the hole and for the wheel, and go ahead and click on Apply. So now that wheel is located in place here. And again, I'm just going to make a little bit easier for myself here. So again, I'm just going to get the wheel a little bit closer. Zoom in close. Again, right-click Constraint. Shortcut letter C will also do this, by the way. So now, instead of doing what we did before by placing in a mate and a centerline constraint, we have another option that I want to use here. It's called Insert. So by clicking on Insert, I'm going to select 2 circular faces. Now the circular faces that I'm going to select, those two planes are going to get mated, and the center lines are going to get mated as well. So I'm going to continue on here, applying those insert constraints to the wheels and to the axles here. So one other option that I want to show here is I want to take the axle and I'm going to move it a little bit closer. But instead of always rotating the viewpoint around, we do have another option where we can go back and rotate components. So here under the Assemble tab, under the Position panel, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the Rotate Component command. Select on the axle, and I can rotate that so I can see the inside circular face that I'm looking for. And again, I'll get a little bit closer here. Again, start up the Constraint command. Again, go back to Insert. Now, it doesn't matter which circular edge I pick first, if it's on the wheel or on the axle. Just want to make sure I select the right circular edge. So again, the last thing that I want to do is we'll go back to the retaining rings. So again, I'm just going to move both of those a little bit closer so it's easier to see. So now all of my components are constrained where I need them to be. So again, you could change the perspective if need be. And the last thing that I want to do is I want to save this file, F1 Race Car Assembly. And then go ahead and click on Save. And I will close off the assembly. And this completes this exercise.